Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going full-on time machine mode back to the year 2000. Remember Y2K? Everyone thought computers were going to go haywire, planes would fall from the sky, it was going to be pure chaos. And flip phones, those were like the peak of technology, man. But 2000 wasn't just about surviving a tech apocalypse. It was a year packed with huge historical events. Some happy, some sad, some that straight up shaped the world we live in today. We're talking Olympic glory, political shakeups, even the start of reality TV as we know it. So, buckle up, grab your Dunkaroos and surge, if you can even find that stuff anymore. Because we're diving headfirst into the top 10 historical events of 2000 you won't believe happened. Let's do this. Okay, first up, we gotta talk about Y2K. Imagine the hype news channels were freaking out. People were stockpiling canned goods like it was the apocalypse. Some folks even thought planes would start falling from the sky. All because computers might not understand the year 2000. Think about it. Back then, technology wasn't as advanced. People were worried that when the clock ticked over to January 1st, 2000, computers would think it was 1900, causing a global meltdown. But guess what? Nothing happened. It was like the biggest anti-climax in history. All that panic, all that preparation for absolutely nothing. Whatever the case, one thing's for sure. Y2K taught us to expect the unexpected and maybe not to trust everything we see on the news. Alright, next up we're talking about the dot-com bubble burst. Picture this. It's the late 90s, the internet is this brand new, super exciting thing, and everyone wants a piece of the action. Companies with .com in their names were popping up left and right. Investors were throwing money at anything with a website, even if the business model made zero sense. I'm talking about companies like Pets.com, who thought people would rather buy 50-pound bags of dog food online than, at the store. But here's the thing about bubbles, they eventually burst. And boy, did this one burst big time. In early 2000, the stock market went into free fall and all those .com darlings saw their values plummet faster than a meteor shower. Investors lost billions, companies went bankrupt left and right, and suddenly that .com at the end of your name wasn't so cool anymore. But hey, every cloud has a silver lining, right? The .com bust taught us some valuable lessons about investing, innovation, and the importance of having a solid business plan. Plus, it paved the way for the internet giants we know and love today, like Google, Amazon, and Facebook. Hold on to your hats, folks, because things are about to get serious. We're talking about Vladimir Putin, the man who's been running Russia for, well, a really long time. Back in 2000, Boris Yeltsin, the first president of Russia after the fall of the Soviet Union, suddenly resigned, leaving a power vacuum in one of the world's most powerful nations. Enter Vladimir Putin, a former KGB agent with a steely gaze and a reputation for, let's say, being a bit of a tough guy. He became acting president on New Year's Eve 1999. Talk about a way to ring in the new year, right? And then in March 2000, Putin officially won the presidential election, kicking off a reign that would last for decades. Now, Putin's rise to power is a whole other story, but let's just say it involved some, shall we say, controversial tactics. But one thing's for sure, Putin's presidency has had a massive impact on Russia and the world. Love him or hate him, there's no denying that Vladimir Putin is one of the most consequential figures of the 21st century. Chapter 4. G'day, mate. It's the Sydney Olympics. Alright, let's take a break from all the serious stuff and talk about something a little more fun. The 2000 Summer Olympics in Sydney, Australia. Remember those? It was a time when the world came together to celebrate athletic achievement, sportsmanship, and of course, those adorable Sydney funnel web spider mascots. It was the first Olympics of the new millennium, and everyone was hyped to see what the future of sports would hold. And boy, did Sydney deliver. From Kathy Freeman's emotional victory in the 400 meters to the incredible performance of the U.S. women's soccer team, the Sydney Games were jam-packed with unforgettable moments. The Sydney Olympics were a celebration of athleticism, sportsmanship, and the indomitable human spirit. Chapter 5. Tragedy strikes. The Concorde crash. Now, for a story that reminds us that even in the midst of celebration, tragedy can strike. On July 25, 2000, the aviation world was rocked by a devastating event, the crash of Air France Flight 4590, a supersonic Concorde jet. The Concorde was a marvel of engineering, a symbol of speed and luxury that could cross the Atlantic in under 4 hours. But on that fateful day, as Flight 4590 was taking off from Charles de Gaulle Airport in Paris, disaster struck. A tire burst during takeoff, sending debris into the fuel tank, which ignited, engulfing the plane in flames. The Concorde, once a symbol of human ingenuity, crashed into a hotel just minutes after takeoff, killing all 109 people on board and 4 people on the ground. The crash sent shockwaves throughout the world, casting a pall over the aviation industry and raising serious questions about the safety of supersonic travel. Chapter 6. To Infinity and the ISS. All right, let's shift gears again and talk about something truly awe-inspiring: the International Space Station. Now, the ISS wasn't built in a day. It's a massive project, a collaboration between multiple countries, and it all started way back in 1998 when the first module was launched into space. But the year 2000 marked a huge milestone for the ISS, the arrival of its first crew. On November 2, 2000, American astronaut Bill Shepard and Russian cosmonauts Yuri Gidzenko and Sergei Krikalev docked with the station, becoming the first humans to live and work in space for an extended period. The arrival of the first crew marked the beginning of continuous human presence in space, a testament to international cooperation and the boundless possibilities of scientific exploration. Buckle up, guys, because this next story is a real tearjerker. It's the Elian Gonzalez saga, a custody battle that captivated the world and exposed deep divisions in American society. In November 1999, a 6-year-old Cuban boy named Elian Gonzalez was found clinging to a life raft off the coast of Florida. His mother and 10 other people had drowned trying to flee Cuba and reach the United States. Elian's survival was nothing short of a miracle, but it also sparked an international custody battle that would drag on for months. Elian's father, who remained in Cuba, wanted his son returned to him, but Elian's relatives in Miami, who opposed Fidel Castro's communist regime, fought to keep him in the United States. In the end, Elian was returned to his father in Cuba, where he still lives today. Chapter 8. Terror on the High Seas, the USS Cole bombing. Tragedy struck again on October 12, 2000, when the USS Cole, a U.S. Navy destroyer, was attacked by terrorists while refueling in the port of Aden, Yemen. The attack, which killed 17 American sailors and injured dozens more, sent shockwaves throughout the world and served as a stark reminder of the growing threat of terrorism. The Cole bombing was a carefully planned and executed act of terror. As the destroyer was refueling, a small boat approached, seemingly on a routine visit. But this was no ordinary visit. The small boat was packed with explosives and, in a horrifying instant, detonated alongside the USS Cole, tearing a gaping hole in its side. The attack on the USS Cole was a horrific act of violence and a stark reminder of the human cost of terrorism. It also marked a turning point in the fight against terrorism, as it showed the world that terrorists were becoming bolder and more sophisticated in their attacks. Chapter 9. Windows 2000. Remember dial-up? Okay, time for a blast from the past. Windows 2000. Remember that bad boy? For all you young'uns out there, Windows 2000 was a big deal back in the day. It wasn't as flashy as Windows 98, but it was supposed to be more stable, more secure, more businessy. And for a lot of people, it was their first introduction to the world of personal computing. Imagine a world without smartphones, without high-speed internet, without all the apps and games we take for granted today. Back then, Windows 2000 was the gateway to the digital world, and it was a pretty big deal. Chapter 10. Survivor outwit, outplay, outlast the competition. All right, get ready for some serious nostalgia, because we're about to talk about the show that started it all. Survivor. That's right, the year 2000 marked the premiere of this groundbreaking reality TV show, and the world has never been the same. Remember that first season, stranded on a deserted island with nothing but the clothes on their backs and their wits to survive? It was like nothing we'd ever seen before. The challenges, the alliances, the backstabbing, the drama. Survivor wasn't just a TV show. It was a cultural phenomenon that spawned countless imitations and changed the landscape of television forever. Outro. That's a wrap on 2000. Wow, what a year 2000 was, right? From surviving the Y2K bug or not, to witnessing the rise of Vladimir Putin, from the triumphs of the Sydney Olympics to the tragedy of the Concorde crash, 2000 was a year that had it all. We explored the highs and lows, the triumphs and tragedies, the moments that shaped the world we live in today. Thanks for joining me on this epic journey back in time. Make sure to hit that like button if you enjoyed the ride and subscribe for more awesome content. Until next time, stay curious, stay informed, and most importantly, stay awesome.